So, welcome back, my friends. It's me, Rogolos, who loves strategy games. So, as I announced, I will sharing videos like an episode, and this will be the first video. I was planning to share daily videos, but I recognize it is hard to show you daily progress. So I will not share daily videos, but I will share regular videos so that you can still track the development and you can see the progress. Yeah. So for those who are not interested about how a game developing, technically stuff like that. So if you are not interested about that, maybe you should skip that video. But for those who are interested, who wants to know my way, how I start and how everything, how everything start and which problems I face and how I find solution for those problems. So you can stay here and hope you enjoyed that video. So let's start. So the beginning was that I starting with ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT if I want my own game, what is the requirement, what I need, yeah. And then I find, for example, PlayFab. PlayFab is like a backend, like a how I can say, like it is your backend, like a player authentication, your leaderboard, if you have in-game currencies, equipments, something for your inventory, stuff like that. You can using PlayFab, for example. And this is like the logic, the main core. But for that, what you need to see, for example, I was using Unity, okay? So for Unity is only visually what you see on your phone, yeah? So you need to understand there are two separate stuff. So one stuff is the front end, so like the Unity version, what you seeing on your phone. And then we have the back end side, and the back end, that is like the main core, like the brain, the source of truth. So the back end deciding what is truth and what not. And in this way, nobody can manipulating your game. Yeah. So just for your information. So about that screen, what you are seeing now. Yeah. I know it don't looks pretty good, but I would like to share how everything starts. So first, I starting as hobby by doing by myself with ChatGPT, like how I can log in, how I can connecting Unity with the backend with PlayFab, how I can make a successful login as player, how I can have one tree and that tree producing mana each minute and stuff like that. I was able to do, even to create a player profile with a player profile panel with one avatar, stuff like that I make by my own. Yeah, so that was my first experience, guys. Yeah, but later I recognize to make a really full development game, like without any bugs, without much latency, so that it's working smooth. For sure, I need a development team, like that everything works how it need be. So with my development team, we finished that what you are seeing here, like on the left side, player profile, store, inventory, leaderboard, clan, global chat, battle reports, incoming attacks, attack in progress. So those stuffs we was able to do. So, but there was in the end one problem. By making the attacks, we recognize we have a lot of huge server costs, because from the start where I starting as a hobby, we going with the developing team, and we're using Microsoft Azure in combination with PlayFab and with Unity. So in this point, once we making some attacks, some battles with other players for testing, I recognize that Microsoft Azure already charging me a lot of, even for some dummy accounts. So the game is not live, it is not launched, and I have already costs. So I didn't understand why. And on PlayFab side, they make the marketing like the first 100,000 player is free. Yeah, I mean, for the developing part, it is free. But even if you have less than 100,000 player, but you have huge API calls, huge traffic, then you will still have costs, even if you are not reach that limit of 100,000 player for PlayFab. So this means I recognize, hey, once the game is full development, like completely finished, I will have huge costs. And I even don't know if I can pay those server costs. I mean, for sure, I will try to make some small subscription, but I don't know if player will like the game. So if nobody like the game, then I have huge development costs plus server costs, and then I need to shut down the game, correct? So I was thinking, I was planning with the dev team, with the development team, what we can do instead of Microsoft Azure and PlayFab. So we was brainstorming, we was thinking, we was making some research, and right now I don't want say exactly what is the solution, but what I can tell you guys is we find a solution. Yeah, so we find a solution how we can make the server cost less. But before we talking deeper technically, I will tell you what happened until now. So for example, like I told you, we need to separate two stuff, front end and back end. So in this back end architecture, it was a lot of time trigger. So this means, doesn't matter if the player is online or offline, each player getting each minute mana. So this means if you are online or offline, so once you log in into the game, so once you create one account, the game will make every minute one write. So let me explain you how server costs generate. Yeah, so there is two stuffs, for example, like reading costs and some write costs. So reading costs are, for example, if you reading something from the backend, from the database. Yeah, so for example, you log in, and if you log in, then the server need give you information about your location, in which island you are, and who is your neighbors, which player are in your island and around your island. So those information you need to read. Yeah, and this means there's some costs. Yeah, so to have just a server is not a big deal. Yeah, so to have a server is not like you have huge costs. The cost will starting with active players who are playing the game by clicking something, by making actions. Yeah, so if you are online and you open the leaderboard and you want read the top 50 players, so once you open the leaderboard, then you need to read from the server who is the top strongest 50 player. So those are some reads. Yeah, and just imagine you have 5,000 player. Just imagine you have 100,000 player in the game. So the more player you have, the more costs you will have. Yeah. And what is right? Some rights are, for example, in my game, if you increase your tree level from level 1 to level 2. So those are some persist stuff. So what we need to save. So once you upgrade your tree to level 2, then we need save this to the database. So for the next login or other players who want to see your tree, that everybody who reading your tree, they will see it's level 2. So, and to make some reads are costs, but to make a write are more expensive than reads. So about this is just the cost stuff what I was trying to explain you guys. So even for someone who never understand nothing about technique or stuff like that, I hope with that video you get a better feeling. And because of this architecture that each minute, even if you are online or offline, you're producing mana, and every minute you need to make one write for saving those mana. So that was not the best architecture, to be honest, but it is how it is. It was like that, yeah. But over the time, after brainstorming, some research and like this, we find a solution, yeah. And for this solution, what I want to show you is just a small, how I can say, just a small sneak peek. I think we call it sneak peek. So I will show you really quick how everything changed, and you even see the visually stuff, that even the visually stuff changed, yeah. And stay tuned for video part 2, and let me know in the comments your questions. So doesn't matter what is your question, feel free to ask me in the comments what do you want to know and stuff like that, and I will try to answer you. But this is the stuff that I try to explain you about reads, about writes, how everything start, that I starting as hobby, then I find a developing team, then we starting first with Microsoft Azure and with PlayFab, but later we recognize we have huge server costs, so we changed something. And what I can say to you guys is, in the end, instead of time trigger, we are using now events. And big games always using some events. Events is nothing else than only if something happen, then it will happen, yeah. For example, if you are logged into the game and then you log out for 10 minutes, this means in my previous version you are 10 minutes offline. This means we have 10 writes because of each minute, and you was 10 minutes offline. So this means I will have 10 writes, and then I have like 10 writes costs, correct? But event is like, if you log in after 10 minutes, then the system see, okay, from your last login time until now, the offline time is 10 minutes. And then it will calculate with the production time of 20 mana, for example. So this means the system understand you are 10 minutes offline, multiplicate with the production rate, and we make one write instead of 10 minutes, like 10 writes. So we can saving huge server costs by doing some events. So I hope you enjoyed that video, my friends. Now I will show you how we changing also the visually stuff, and in part 2 I will continue with the video 2. So if you're seeing now this one, this looks totally different than the previous one. what you can see is we have here like one island with 100 trees, and you can see like how much life the tree has, which level the tree has. So let me zoom out. You see the life of the tree, the level of the tree, the name of the tree. If you're clicking on the tree, for example, you can attack anyone. And what you can also recognize is each player has his own color. So you can decide if you want green color, pink, yellow, red, or any other color. Yeah. What you can see here is also like the really nice mana icon on the top right side, or next to the mana, like the Rogolium, which I love it. It looks huge nice. And as you can see, guys, this is just the early beginning of the production, like for the developing stuff. I will explain you everything on detail from the video 1 part to the video part 2, what exactly we changed. So stay tuned, let a follow if you didn't follow, and give a like for this video. And if you are not in my Discord channel, feel free to join my Discord. And yeah, see you for part 2.